once again to all stakeholders and those assembled here. I am KB Andah, Managing Partner of Bekatili Andah and Andah, Chartered Accountants. We are appointed as external auditors to the GFA not too long ago. This appointment, to all intents and purposes, sends a signal about the transformative agenda the Ghana Football Association has embarked upon. Why do I say that? I say that because this is the first time the Ghana Football Association is being audited by an independent private sector firm. And this is groundbreaking. Let's give them a round of applause. By doing this, it meant the GFA was prepared to lend itself to critical scrutiny of all its activities, especially bordering on financial activities. I think they have done very well in this regard. The audit was conducted assiduously, and as our professional logo goes, the Chartered Accountant stands for integrity. And I think that dovetails into the vision of the Ghana Football Association too. We were pleasantly surprised by the quality of work that had been done at the Secretariat. And I would like to say kudos to the Executive Finance. Because we are private sector coming with a certain mindset like, oh, this is a quasi-government organization, and we know from experience when he asks for information and explanations how difficult and trying it is to come by basic information. The Katili Andah and Andah visits the GFA. We meet those in charge of accounts. And the snap of our finger, any information we asked for was furnished us. And I mean, it was fantastic. You know, hitherto they were audited by the state audits, yeah? And kudos, well done. And you know, they have an operating accounting software, Sage, that stops and they churn the information by the minute. So I think we are on the crescendo of something good, yeah? So let's all lend our efforts to the effort, so we'll all be happy at the end of the day. Our brief here this morning is to report on the audit of the financial statements which we conducted. The year end of the GFA is June, yes. So, sorry? June, yes, so June 30th, that's the year end. And we have commenced the audit of the June 30, 2021 audit, isn't it? Which is very, very commendable too. It speaks volumes of the fact that people are working. Because if your year end is June 30, we're talking July, August, September. Three months for an outfit to invite you to come in for audit. 3 months after the year end gives us comfort. It tells us that these people are serious. Normally, people are invited after 2 years, 3 years. And I'm sure you heard reports about some state enterprises not having been audited since 2013 and 2014. It does not speak well of that institution. Well-run institutions are audited on time and reports generated on time. So the work does not become historical. If there are any weaknesses or lapses, it is thrown up so that corrective action is taken to stem the tide, the hemorrhage, the bleeding of resources. I shall commence reading of the audit report. The first paragraph is under opinion. That is the opinion of the auditors, external auditors, so to speak. Yeah. We have audited the financial statements of Ghana Football Association, which comprise the statement of financial position as at June 30, 2020, and the statement of comprehensive income, statement of changes in equity, and statement of cash flows for the year then ended, and notes to the financial statements, including a summary of significant accounting policies as set out on pages 15 to 35. In our opinion, the financial statements of Ghana Football Association present fairly, in all material respects, the financial position of the association as at June 30, 2020, and its financial performance and its cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with International Financial Reporting Standards, IFRS, and in the manner required by the Companies Act 2019, Act 992. The basis for our opinion: we conducted our audit in accordance with International Standards on Auditing, ISAs. Our responsibilities under those standards are further described in the auditor's responsibilities for the audit of the financial statements section of our report. We are independent of the association in accordance with the International Code of Ethics for Professional Accountants, including International Independent Standards, the code, as we term it, issued by the International Ethics Standards Board for Accountants, IESBA code, and we have fulfilled our other ethical responsibilities in accordance with the code. We believe that the audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our opinion. Key audit matters are those matters that in our professional judgment were of most significance in our audits of the financial statements of the current period. These matters were addressed in the context of our audit of the financial statements as a whole and informing our opinion thereon, and we do not provide a separate opinion on these matters. We have nothing to report in this regard, implying that we give the GFA a clean slate regarding its financial affairs. Other matters: the financial statements of the association for the year ended 30th June 2019 were audited by another auditor, the Ghana Audit Service, and that's what I'm referring to, a break from tradition, verging on autonomy of the GFA and the new wind that is blowing, who expressed an unmodified opinion on those financial statements in the report dated 28 November 2019. Other information: management is responsible for the other information. The other information comprises the information included in the annual report, but does not include the financial statements and our auditor's report thereon. Our opinion on the financial statements does not cover the other information, and we do not express any form of assurance conclusion thereon. In connection with our audit of the financial statements, our responsibility is to read the other information, and in doing so, consider whether the other information is materially inconsistent with the financial statements, or our knowledge obtained in the audit or otherwise appears to be materially misstated. If, based on the work that we have performed, we conclude that there is a material misstatement of this other information, then we are prepared to report that fact. We have nothing to report in this regard too. Responsibilities of management and those charged with governance for the financial statements. Management is responsible for the preparation and fair presentation of these financial statements in accordance with International Financial Reporting Standards, IFRS, and for such internal control as management determines is necessary to enable the preparation of financial statements that are free from material misstatement, whether due to fraud or error. In preparing the financial statements, the Executive Council is responsible for assessing the association's ability to continue as a going concern, disclosing, as applicable, matters relating to going concern and using the going concern basis of accounting, unless the Executive Council either intended to liquidate the association or cease operations, or has no realistic alternative but to do so. The Executive Council is responsible for overseeing the association's financial reporting process. Auditors' responsibilities for the audit of the financial statements. The objectives of our audit are to obtain reasonable assurance about whether the financial statements as a whole are free from material misstatements, whether due to fraud or error, and to issue an auditor's report that includes our opinion. Reasonable assurance is a high level of assurance, but is not a guarantee that an audit conducted in accordance with ISAs will always detect a material misstatement when tested. Misstatements can arise from fraud or error and are considered material if, individually or in the aggregate, they could reasonably be expected to influence the economic decisions of users taken on the basis of these financial statements. As part of an audit in accordance with ISAs, we exercise professional judgment and maintain professional skepticism throughout the planning and performance of the audit. We also identify and assess the risk of material misstatement of the financial statements, whether due to fraud or error, design and perform audit procedures responsive to those risks, and obtain audit evidence that is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our opinion. The risk of not detecting a material misstatement resulting from fraud is higher than one resulting from error, as fraud may involve collusion, forgery, intentional omissions, misrepresentations, or the override of internal control. We also obtained an understanding of internal control relevant to the audit in order to design audit procedures that are appropriate in the circumstances, but not for the purpose of expressing an opinion on the effectiveness of the entity's internal control. We also evaluated the appropriateness of accounting policies used and the reasonableness of accounting estimates and related disclosures made by management. We concluded on the appropriateness of management's use of the going concern basis of accounting, and based on the audit evidence obtained, whether a material uncertainty exists related to events or conditions that may cast significant doubt on the association's ability to continue as a going concern. If we conclude that a material uncertainty exists, we are required to draw attention in our auditor's report to the related disclosures in the financial statements, or, if said disclosures are inadequate, to modify our opinion. Our conclusions are based on the added evidence obtained up to the date of our auditor's report. However, future events or conditions may cause the association to cease to continue as a going concern. We also evaluated the overall presentation structure and content of the financial statements, including the disclosures and whether the financial statements represent the underlying transactions and events in a manner that achieves fair presentation. We are required to communicate with the Executive Council regarding, among other matters, the planned scope and timing of the audit and significant audit findings, including any significant deficiencies in internal control that we identified during our audit. Report on other legal and regulatory requirements. The Companies Act 2019, Act 992, requires that in carrying out our audit work, we consider and report on the following matters. We confirm that we have obtained all the information and explanations which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for the purposes of the audit. In our opinion, proper books of account have been kept by the association, so far as appears from the examination of those books. and the association's financial statements are in agreement with the books of account and returns. The association, therefore, generally complies with all relevant articles of the Ghana Football Association statutes. The engagement partner responsible for the audit resulting in this independent opinion is KB Andah, Institute of Chartered Accountants, Ghana /P1098, duly signed by us and representatives or nominated persons of the Executive Council. So, in brief, all what I've read is that I have staked my professional reputation in endorsing and certifying that the financial statements of the GFA for the period up to June 2020 are true and fair. Thank you very much.